Hello, my name is Blake Patterson, and welcome to Real Values. On this week's episode, I discuss the best first-time viewings of 2024. Now, here are a few honorable mentions: Alice in the Cities, Amour, The Immigrants and the New Land, Irreversible, Local Hero, and Women in Love. Number 10, Elle. The subversive master Paul Verhoeven crafts his most entertaining but mature film about a CEO who tries to figure out the identity of her rapist. With the great Isabelle Huppert, Verhoeven explores the spectrum of misogyny from the mild to the extreme through Michel's cat-and-mouse investigation. When few modern thrillers challenge the audience's expectations with narrative transitions and morally gray dynamics, Verhoeven's Elle reminds viewers of the genre's roots while updating them for a modern era. Number 9, A Matter of Life and Death. Powell and Pressburger's beautifully crafted and entertaining fantasy considers an Air Force pilot's aftermath on whether to be on Earth or in the other world by applying a subtext that depicts the character's PTSD through hallucinations. Powell and Pressburger cleverly play with both settings by having the real world in color and the other world in black and white to distinguish the places. Beyond its visual mastery, the movie succeeds due to how it captures the idea of love transcending mortal struggle. Number 8, A Place in the Sun. George Stevens's A Place in the Sun is a richly textured portrait of American life through the perspective of one man and the two women who revolve around him. Before knowing much about the film, I expected A Place in the Sun to be a romantic melodrama about a cultural clash concerning class differences. While class is integral to Stevens's film, A Place in the Sun surprises in its bleak exploration of how unexpected circumstances can lead to brutal fates. Number 7, The Wedding Banquet by Ang Lee. In the past, I have watched masterpieces where auteurs dealt with the claustrophobia of heteronormativity empathetically, like Gus Van Sant's My Own Private Idaho or Claire Denis' Beau Travail. However, I have never observed a film like The Wedding Banquet, where a director approached the matter so directly and effectively. The film begins as a screwball comedy before becoming a drama about the difficulties of being gay when straight people expect you to be a certain way. Number 6, Now Voyager. Emily Dickinson's The Soul Selects Her Own Society came to mind when I watched this film in early 2024 because the movie concerns a woman liberating herself from the confines of a strict society. As Irving Rapper's Now Voyager evolves, the correlation became clearer through the dysfunctional dynamic between the repressed Charlotte Vale and the domineering Mrs. Wendell Vale. From the convincing performances to the elegant settings, it is difficult not to be taken by Charlotte's aspirations because Rapper and Bette Davis believe in Charlotte as a human being finding herself. Number 5, Jane B. par Agnès V. From Blow Up to La Belle Noiseuse, I had known about the late Jane Birkin, but Agnès Varda's Jane B. par Agnès V. made me love her. Varda's 1988 documentary is a playful hybrid of a documentary concerning Birkin's current and past life and a birthday present to Birkin on her 40th birthday. While Varda has made excellent films in the past, such as Vagabond and Cleo from 5 to 7, none of them feel as alive in their creative enthusiasm as Jane B. par Agnès V. Number 4, The Innocents. From its dissolves to superimpositions, The Innocents elegantly captures a fusion between the real world and the supernatural. The edited imagery lingers in the mind for what it indicates figuratively about the isolated sociology of the characters and the psychology of the main character, Deborah Kerr's Miss Giddens. Through Miss Giddens's profession as a governess, the film is a work of haunted beauty because Jack Clayton approaches the screenplay ambiguously rather than limiting his interpretation to one side, whether the movie is merely a ghost story or a Freudian study of Miss Giddens. Number 3. Bound for Glory. Brimming with dust across many frames, Hal Ashby's Bound for Glory is an achievement in establishing its rural atmosphere and one rebellious musician's role in working-class America. Even though the film concerns the early life and career of Woody Guthrie, a career peak performance by David Carradine, Bound for Glory is arguably the most personal feature of the new Hollywood auteur's career. To complement its visual mastery, Ashby and his gifted ensemble capture the aged but perseverant heart of the American people. Number 2. The Heiress. At its core, William Wyler's film is about how wealth and greed can consume human feelings and leave a person emotionally broken. Some films have a vague understanding of what it is like to be around wealthy people, but Wyler goes further with Augustus and Ruth Getz's screenplay into the nuances of the class experience. As the brilliant performances naturally draw you into the conflict, The Heiress becomes one of the few films that captures perfectly the claustrophobic isolation of the lifestyle and how it can damage a person's idealism. And number 1, A Special Day. Beautifully shot in a sepia tone, Ettore Scola's film exhibits the thematic richness of the political conflict surrounding two different characters, a frustrated and unhappy housewife and a gay neighbor on his last day before being deported, but achieves emotional transcendence through the masterful performances of the two Italian leads, Marcello Mastroianni and Sophia Loren. Through their brief friendship from becoming acquainted with being compassionate for each other, Mastroianni and Loren evoke the angst of a national crisis by tracking the humanity of those who are affected by fascism or recognize its corruption. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great night.